Are you on the coffee? You staying on the coffee, yeah? There's no rules here. And welcome back to the most ridiculous marketing podcast with your host, James Hacking. That is me, founder of Squishy Powerful. Oh my God, the sound waves when I shout go so loud, so big. With my fellow host, Luke.
And we say bye-bye.
No, wrong one. Sub. And Chris Boomtown. Harvey. How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
So can you tell me, do you like our podcast more or your own podcast?
Oh, that's a tough one. It is a tough one. Well, if I want to keep my job, I better say this one.
Good lad.
And he's still in.
He's still
Did anyone in the comments say anything?
About Chris?
About the podcasts?
Nah, to be honest, guys, we didn't get any comments this week. But it's because we didn't do one for a year, so we've
That's
got
fair.
to build.
We'll make up that they did say that they prefer.
Oh
this
yeah,
one.
Sorry, everyone listening. I mean that there was millions of comments, thousands of views.
Yeah.
Other way
Because
around.
one day there'll be like 2 million.
But there actually
views
will
on
be.
this.
There actually will be.
That's what I'm
Anyway, before I forget, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the most ridiculous marketing podcast across all social media platforms, including Spotify, YouTube, other ones. We're not on
the big ones.
We'll get TikTok on the go. Maybe we'll get famous on TikTok.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a platform for us.
There's a
Maybe
really good podcast I follow, actually.
Is it called Brand Wars? No. Sorry, Chris. I'll put you back on again.
From TikTok, actually, called Raiders the Lost Podcast, who will chat about movies and stuff, and heard of them through TikTok, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Definitely worth follow.
Maybe we will be the next TikTok stars. Anyway, guys, into the quick news this week. What has been going on in the world? Well, biggest news of all time. What is it? Brentford are in the Premier League. So my prediction last week is correct. And the Bees, are up into the Premier League. Did you watch the game, lads?
No, sadly.
No, I didn't. No.
I watched the end of it.
Yeah,
I missed all the
winning.
good bits.
Yeah.
I missed all the good bits.
I mean, I watched the highlights. Does that count?
It could if you wanted it to count, Chris.
I do.
I'm sure it does count in some way.
The whole game was a highlight.
It was. It was for me.
Yeah.
Going absolutely fucking crazy at them scoring the first goal and the second goal. But the mad thing is that for the previous 9 playoffs that they've been involved in, either semi-finals, finals, they've lost every single one. So as a Brentford fan, to see them go up, it's pretty insane.
That's mad.
Into the big leagues.
It's quite magical.
It was magical, almost statistical, as they say, which is the club is founded all about statistics. So there you go. Anyway, Premier League next year, we're not going back down. We're staying up. I reckon we'll do a good Leeds this year, good mid-table, 12th, 13th.
So who got promoted? Norwich? Brentford?
Watford, Brentford.
So Watford is sort of stable. Premier
Both of those teams are a bit
I'd
yo-yo-y, aren't they?
I was going to say, yeah, I think they're both yo-yo-y.
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 So it's exciting that Brentford are in. It's the 50th team to be in the Premier League.
That's
So
a good stat.
good stat there
Seems
indeed.
low, doesn't it?
Up
Any
the bees.
big
Subscribe to find
signings
out.
you reckon on the horizon for Brentwood?
Brentwood. We're not Brentwood, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
Well, Chris, if you knew about Brentford, we're not a big signing team. It's all about statistics. So it's finding underrated players that people don't know are as good as they are. So there'll be some surprises, and there'll be some players that will go next season for about 50 million quid.
Yeah. Rumour has it that Brad Pitt's coming in as manager.
No, he's not.
Moneyball.
He's not. Dude, what's his name? Billy Beam, the actual guy. What teams he was involved with a team? I think he's involved with Brighton or in some aspects.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Let me just Google that quickly. You guys keep talking. I want to know who he's involved with.
Well, obviously, he came through because John Henry, manager of the Red Sox, or owner of the Red Sox,
Yeah.
he tried to sign him, didn't he? I remember at the end of the film, and they took on that Moneyball sort of strategy and ended up absolutely cleaning up over there, didn't they? For baseball, so I think that's what
He's
Liverpool
involved with
and-
Barnsley. So Barnsley have got a
Bees.
Moneyball thing now.
That would be why they are in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I was a
they
bit-
shot up as well.
Yeah, was a bit surprised to see them.
Another ex-Premier League.
Yeah, so they
Were they?
again look, there's statistics stuff. Yeah, years
Early
ago,
days.
probably 98, something like that. They had one season there. Anyway, we're going to talk about that for the whole episode. So let's move on. Next, quick news. And because this is the most ridiculous boxing podcast, we've got to talk about boxing. Quickly mention it. We don't want to take up too much time. But Jake Paul against Tyron Woodley has been made for August the 8th. And his brother is fighting Floyd this weekend. Floyd Mayweather, that we spoke about last weekend. Anything to talk about that?
I think Jake Paul's got a really solid career in front of him.
and that's the end of the podcast.
That's the 1 minute podcast.
So he's fighting Tyron Woodley, who is a 5-time UFC champ. So it's his first real live opponent. It's like a massive step up from everyone else he's fought. But Tyron Woodley he's not renowned for his boxing and striking. He's more of a wrestler. But I'm hoping that he will absolutely wipe Jake Paul out because he has knocked out a lot of people with punches. So.
Yeah, and he's not like he's a specimen, at least in the UFC, as I remember.
He's going to be Jake Paul's first opponent that actually moves his hips when he punches. So there's going to be a bit of power.
Or has less than 8 layers of fat.
But it's going to be on Showtime, pay-per-view in America. He's gone away from Triller Fight Club. Probably going to make more money now. Wish him well, but I hope he gets knocked out because it'll be memes for years.
The big news on that is the purse. What is the purse?
I don't know. It
must be pretty big.
Yeah, I can imagine he's probably making a lot of money, which, again, you can't knock them because they're making fortunes out of it. But, let's see how it goes. I'm interested to see.
Yeah. And if it does get big enough, this podcast, I'll fight him.
Yep. So I'll fight Logan. You can fight Jake.
I'll fight Jake.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it first.
Heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
And the final quick news of the week is sperm whales. Did you hear about this?
No, talk to me more about sperm whales.
So I spotted this while looking for some quick news topics. On BBC News actually yesterday, some Yemeni fishermen found 1.1 million of vomit gold in a sperm whale carcass. I don't know how to say this, but it's called ambergris. It's a solid waxy substance formed in the intestines of sperm whales. It's usually used for the aid of digestion of problematic materials such as the beaks of giant squid. So apparently,
like how birds swallow stones.
I was going to say I can see how beaks from giant birds would be problematic.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I don't want to.
So it has been used for medicine, food, incense, and even aphrodisiacs. Ooh. So apparently the money has been evenly split between 35 fishermen, many of which bought houses, cars and boats. But what is most remarkable is that they also shared it between the communities and villages that needed money and needed help, which is really, really nice.
How much is it worth and how much was there?
So 1.1 million, and I can imagine, in Yemen, that's probably billions.
That's some serious chunk of change.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting.
Fair play. Well done.
Well done to the lads. I wish I could have like a cheering emoji, but I've not. But there you go. Well done to the lads.
Oh no, you can play the "I'm rich."
Oh yeah, this one.
And we say bye-bye.
Wrong one again. Which one is it?
Bottom one.
Boom.
No,
green.
No.
I'm really rich.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do that again. The Yemeni fishermen are now.
I'm really rich.
Yeah, you talk about that. Come on. Anyway, so let's actually get into the proper podcast of this week of topic number 1. I'll be honest, I'm not a big tennis fan or a tennis aficionado. I've said that right. But this has been all over the news this week, and I sort of didn't want to look at it because Piers Morgan was commenting on it. And if you listened to the podcast last week, you'd know that I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan. And the person that I would like him to fight, who I would love to see just get absolutely destroyed, Piers Morgan. Like, oh my God, I would pay good money to see that fight. Like, Piers Morgan is just but you guys wanted to talk about this, so anyway, let's bring it up and discuss it, and we'll have a nice chat about Naomi Osaka, who withdrew from the French Open this week after being fined for refusing to speak to the media. Before the tournament, the world number 2 revealed she decided she didn't want to speak to any media or do media obligations because she's been suffering from mental health and depression for the last 3 years. So she released a statement before the tournament saying she wasn't going to do her press obligations, which led to huge outcry, uproar, support, and also lots of discussion all over the internet. There's also been many players that have come out and backed her, Serena Williams, other sporting stars like Steph Curry, together also with their sponsors, Nike, and I forget the name of the other one, but they've all come out and supported her. And she just, on the first round win, she just decided she wasn't going to do her press conference, was fined $15,000, and then decided she was going to just completely drop out of the tournament due to all the stuff that had been going on. So people have been, supporting against it. What are your guys' thoughts of her not doing her media obligations and refusing to speak to the media because of her mental health?
Well, I was reading about this a little bit, and I know she won I think it was the US Open a few years ago when she was, quite young.
Yeah.
And since then, bursting onto the scene, having to deal with some serious media obligations and, just interviews everywhere, asking all sorts of questions. And she was just saying, from coming out of nowhere and doing this, she's been battling depression. And I think tennis, it's such especially if you're a singles player like she is, world number 2, as you said, it must be so tough having to deal with that all
lone wolf,
all by yourself all the time. And at least she came up, before the tournament, said, "Look, I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to do it." And probably if she went on to win it and had to pay like 15K after every single round, she wouldn't have any prize money left.
Yeah, I suppose so. I guess like some people, I can imagine there's certain characters and personalities that really, really enjoy speaking to the media and winding the media up, like Erling Haaland. Have you seen his interviews that he gives? It's just hilarious.
It's like a robot, isn't he?
It's like the guy asks him, "Are you happy with the performance today?" Like, yeah, really happy with my performance today. Really, really good. And he just basically just repeats and repeats and repeats. But I can imagine like if you're an anxious person or somebody that doesn't really deal well with being probed and questioned, especially if you've come off like, I don't know, a match that you've performed pretty badly in, or if you've, wiped the floor with the opponent, you might want to go chill out and relax. But if you're being probed by professional journalists to try and get you to say certain words and certain phrases, that probably does like play on people's minds when they're sitting there in front of a crowd of 50 journalists trying to get answers for things, and especially if you say one thing out of line, you can get slaughtered, and that can be your memorable quote for the rest of your career. But especially in the heat of the moment, you're probably not thinking straight. So to be taken off court, to be in front of the media straight away, is pretty tough for professional sports people. And
I wonder if it might have something to do with like the individual sports as well, because tennis, I don't really see anyone in football who's that bad with the media or anything like that. Whereas tennis, you've got Bernard Tomic, Nick Kyrgios, Naomi Osaka is a little bit less volatile than them, but still has issues.
Yeah, Kyrgios loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's like always being fined, always got something wrong.
He's more of a controversial figure, though, isn't he?
I think he's just a pure arsehole, yeah.
He's just trying to wind people up, isn't he, for the sake of it. But, you mentioned Serena Williams there, coming out and backing her. I think one of her quotes was, I'm very thick-skinned and some people are thin, like thin-skinned like that. I don't think maybe that's fair in that respect. Like, she's been going through some tough stuff and doesn't need to be accused for media, or even like with the corona stuff going on. Like, why would you want to sit in a room with 50 journalists at the minute after going out and playing? You'd be like, actually guys, I'd rather just go back to my hotel room and go and chill out and rest and recover.
I don't want this to be a media bashing session, but I do find the media generally just a fucking pain. Like, do you remember right at the start?
They're always on your door, aren't they?
Yeah, oh god, can't get rid of them. But do you remember at the start of the COVID lockdowns when they turned up at who was it? Cummings' house, maybe, when he broke the law.
Yeah.
And they were like there, just all of them like packed around like rabid dogs, just looking for
going for the
photo.
meat, aren't they? There is. It is a weird job.
Yeah,
I do find it quite a weird job.
Bloodsucky.
Because you are like a professional dick.
Professional mosquito.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just trying to find something that's going to make you a bit famous. Because they're all trying to be famous, aren't they? Trying to be like the main reporter for whatever it is that they're doing.
And even for any other job, like you don't.
Mate, I'll tell you now. When we go to China for 2 weeks, after you come back from 2 weeks, all I want to do is just sit in bed and don't want to talk to anybody. Imagine what it's like being a professional sports person.
Yeah.
Sorry to any of our Chinese clients that listen to this.
Getting the same questions after every match every time.
Yeah.
Not a different one. Try one different.
So do you think it should be an obligation to do the media? Should they be obliged to talk to them?
I think that the media should upskill. Personally, I think they should work out a way of making their interviews more entertaining. And then, I think obviously it's part of the sport, isn't it? It brings money to the sport. So
I mean, unfortunately, I guess it's part and parcel. Yeah. When you sign up to these things, but when you get to that elite level, unfortunately, that's part and parcel. But I do think the way she handled herself beforehand and said, "Look, I'm not in the best frame of mind. I don't want to do it."
Yeah.
Gave them forewarning. I think they could have at least respected her and what she wanted to do, especially with the last 12 months we've all had, where we're just lucky. for her as a sports, she's lucky to be playing, and we're lucky as fans to watch her play. If it means that she doesn't have to do an interview afterwards, then fine. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Because I guess the interesting point is because she's such a young pro. Well, she's 23. It's like if she is young. I guess her generation has been more about growing up on social media and growing a fan base that way. Whereas if you look at, 15, 20 years ago, where you had to speak to the media to communicate with your fans, I guess, it probably was more relevant. Whereas, if after a game now, they can just go on Instagram and do a story and actually talk to their fans, the ones who actually want to listen to them, and, they give information that they want to give rather than being probed about other perhaps irrelevant questions that might, cause mental health problems and stress to them. Are they as relevant as you think? Should it really be like, if you want to speak to your fans, you do it through your own mediums. And the media always report it anyway. Like Daily Mail, whenever someone does an Instagram story, it's like, Ronaldo said this. It's like, they still report that as news. But
yeah,
I guess that's more like the Daily Mail just got nothing else to do though, rather than just scroll through Instagram.
Yeah. Has anyone got something to add? Quick, last 30 seconds, sum it up. Anyone?
No.
Or else we're just going to sit here and wait for the...
Yeah,
you got to sit here and wait for the jingle.
27.
In any other job, though, I think mental health and stuff would be given a priority. Yeah. And I feel like the same should be treated for elite athletes as well.
Come on, Chris, you got 15 seconds here.
No, that was it. I'm going to leave it at that. I feel
Chris,
like that.
Chris,
that's
10, 9. Come on, Chris. Anything else?
No, I've been put on the spot. I don't like it.
Nice. Lovely. Good chat about that one, lads. Anyway, next topic that we did actually mention last week that Floyd Williams spoke about as well during our little brainstorm this week was FIFA Ultimate Team. Now, Chris, I know that you spent a few pounds on this, but I don't know if you knew about the actual extent of how much this part of the games, Madden and FIFA, takes up of the company's revenue. It's pretty staggering. Apparently, Ultimate Team represented a whopping 29% of the company's net revenue for 2021, which ended in March. That's 29% of their revenue. So they reported 5.6 billion in total net revenue for the year, which means Ultimate Team brought in 1.62 billion. And a more interesting stat is that it raked in $3,000 per minute. $3,000 per minute.
Yeah, I can see
last
that.
year. So for anyone who doesn't know what it is, Ultimate Team in FIFA and Madden is basically a fantasy experience in which you assemble your own roster from your collection of digital cards that you either earn through playing or purchase with actual cash. I think it's difficult to get them through like just playing, right? Yeah, so people pay for this stuff. So the hook with this, as with, let's say, football stickers when you're a kid, is that all the packs are random, so you don't really know who you're going to get. And if you get rare or limited cards, it creates a sense of FOMO, so people spend more. So, if I get Cristiano Ronaldo shiny, you're going to want Cristiano Ronaldo shiny because it improves my team. So the point about this is that it obviously creates a huge amount of revenue for FIFA and Madden, which, they've flipped the game completely in the last few years to really push on this point. But when you look at it in layman's terms, do you think this is gambling? This is the big question, because you've got kids that are trying to, they're going to pester their mum and dad for more money to try and buy packs. You've got people that are trying to better their teams, and it happens every single year. And do you think it's getting that, not like, I don't know, it just gets people used to spending money and trying to get better and better and better and better. It's that hook of trying to always...
Yeah, I wouldn't say gambling, I'd say grooming.
It
is, isn't it?
Well, the Belgium actually banned loot boxes in 2018, and several other countries are considering taking legal action. So, there is obviously a discussion around this that certain countries are seeing it as a problem where it becomes a habit of people, spending money, trying to better and better and better, and always wanting more. So it is that fear of missing out, but it's that hook of wanting more. Addiction, it's like chase it. Yeah, there you go. It's the addiction.
I would 100% say it is gambling.
He's talking from experience.
Talking from experience here, Chris.
This week he spent 90 grand on.
How much? So you said you spent like a couple $100.
No, I spent 30 quid.
Yeah. And right, okay. I'm going to ask you some questions now. So you spent that £30.
Yeah.
When you spent that £30, what did you think was going to happen?
I kind of wanted to catch up to like the teams I was playing against who genuinely had like a Ronaldo or a Messi in their team. And, I thought, oh, yes, okay, I'll buy some packs and definitely get some decent players. Yeah, absolutely not the case. Maybe I didn't get the promo packs, but even then you don't know if you're going to get a really good player either. But I know we touched on this last week too, where influencers will do pack openings on YouTube and, they'll promote this player's hot right now, like definitely go and buy him in the transfer. It's totally like sways people to go.
So you think they're to blame as well, the influencers?
I kind of do a little bit, like because
I'd agree with you there.
You watch them do pack opening live streams and things like that. But to win, I found an Ultimate Team like without spending money or at least having.
You can't compete.
You really can't compete. You have to play game after game after game, like hours every day to make sure like you're getting the same sort of rewards. Because they have, on squad battles, you can get rewards if you get to different levels every week, or if you play in the like weekend leagues and things like that. You really have to play a lot. Yeah.
So so when you opened those packs and you were left disappointed there was no Ronaldo and Messi in there, what was your feeling? Were you like tempted to buy more, or were you just like, do you know what, this isn't for me?
It was definitely the latter. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, and left it at that, because I could have easily gone the other way and go, no, maybe I'll just keep going. But no, I was just like, you know what, I'll just try and play when I can. I'm not someone that plays it all the time anyway. I much prefer playing FIFA like with my friends online. Because I think with Ultimate Team, those numbers that you mentioned there with, 3,000 spend a minute. Yeah. The amount of players that play it all over the world, like I can definitely see that being the case. And it's by the end of the year, or even say like even now, with the new one coming out in the summer, like you just get stuck. Like you can't move forward in any leagues. Like some people are just ridiculous.
I'd love to know if there was a leaderboard of actual spend on the game. So imagine like number one. Imagine what I'd imagine EA Sports would be able to have this.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see.
How much does the perfect Ultimate Team cost? So I've seen a few where they've got like a Ronaldo up front. They've got left midfielders Eusebio and right midfielders someone else. And
they, every week they'll do stuff like legendary cards. So you have challenges to win those players as well.
Oh, okay.
So
there's like a freemium aspect. And
there is. So they do have challenges which you can do to. They have storylines. So one of the ones I think I remember doing was for Wesley Fofana at Leicester. You had to do challenges in certain different game modes, and you could get him all the way up to like an 88-90 central defensive midfielder or something. And they do these with all these certain players. They release all these different hype cards every week, and I think that's the other thing that keeps people interested all the time as well.
I just did a quick
because if you're in a league and everyone else is doing it and you're not, you might have spent a bit more, but you lose out on those, 100%. And then you're back behind anyway. So
I just did a quick Google. I think this is a couple of years old, so I'd imagine it's a lot more now. But it says one player admitted to spending over $280,000 on that one game.
Wow.
A minute.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. So I'd imagine there's a lot of people spending a lot of money. It says worryingly, around 20% of all players thought they spent at least $1,000 over their time in the game. So,
fuck, $1,000
on FIFA. That's 2 years ago.
What does $1,000 get you?
Well,
does
obviously,
that get you a decent team?
Obviously, nothing.
But there's all sorts of different things within Ultimate Team. So you have SBCs, like squad builder challenges, and that also gets you rewards as well. So you can build a whole team centered around the Premier League, and you can swap them out for players or FIFA coins or packs and things like that as well. So there are other elements that keep people entertained as well.
Add into this, Chris, as well, to add to your point. FIFA have also tried to dampen attempts to block any of these revenue streams. So what they're doing now is they sell cosmetic items in the game, such as kits and stadium themes. So it's not like gambling. You're spending money to improve your stadium or a nicer kit. So they've got this other revenue stream, but that's not going to be anywhere near.
But hold on, so to
anywhere near
improve your stadium, do you have to spend 42 billion or something to open up on East Stand?
Who knows?
You get a random card like in one of these packs or something, and it would be like Anfield or something like that. But yeah, I can't see anyone going out there and spending money on the Liverpool kit.
Yeah. Having said that, I think it's fucking great. Exactly the type of game I want to play.
You'd love it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It is the only game I play though. I'm terrible at like first-person shooter games like COD and.
Oh, I love a bit of COD, but those games as well. I don't play. So.
Why? What game do you play?
Well, unfortunately, Chris, you're out of time, so you'll never find out. You'll have to find out next week. Okay, so what we're going to do now, before we go into the final topic of the day, is my favourite part of the show. Do you know what I want to have? I want to have a little jingle for this part of the show because I feel it'll be really worth it. And it's a Lloyd's Corner. So Zahid or Z, who's not here, let's make a little jingle for this part of the show so I can have it on here. And
2 hours
not that one.
later.
We can have it as that. So I want to have a little jingle for Lloyd's Corner. Lloyd's Corner.
Over the weekend, Carol Vorderman went on a pretty random night out with H from Steps and ex-Wales international rugby player Gareth Thomas. If you could go on a night out with any 2 other random celebrities, who are you going out with and where?
I've just seen the video. It's like the many heads of Lloyd.
Yeah, sorry, I should have showed you the video. We'll put it in the actual podcast, video cast on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. So yeah, guys, Lloyd said just then that Carol Vorderman, the 60-year-old woman that she is, went on a big night out with the most random group of people. H from Steps, Gareth Thomas, the ex-rugby player, Wales rugby player. Like, can we just talk about this, by the way? Where in the world did those 3 people become mates?
What a trio.
Tinder.
But it's just, like, how do their paths cross? It's just weird.
Countdown, I should imagine.
She's not on it
Celebrity
anymore.
Countdown.
She's out the public eye.
What, even in the celebrity one?
I don't know. Not a big fan of it. I'm just chatting.
Don't know.
Yeah, so like, where do they become mates? That's what I want to know. Because is it like a random friend generator for celebrities?
Yeah,
like a new app that's come out.
Yeah, they've all got the same agent.
Yeah, and then you've got to go out on a night out with them. Yeah, so weird group of celebrities that have become mates. So anyway, the question was, if you're going to go on a night with 2 celebrities, who would they be and where would you go? It's quite hard being put on the spot, isn't it?
I'm
Probably Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
Just you and her.
Just you and Miley.
Add someone else. Miley Cyrus and her dad.
Why, are you going to ask for a hand in marriage or something?
Yeah, just to shorten the process.
Okay. All right.
No,
So
we go out to Vegas or something, and just a good night, I would imagine. Probably not. You never know.
Just you and her
Yeah.
in the Bellagio.
Ditch the dad.
So you're a big fan of Miley
No, I
Cyrus?
don't fancy her. I just think
All right.
what? I didn't say that. No, I just think she'd be a good night out.
All right. It's whatever you want to do.
yeah.
Go on, Chris. Who would you pick?
I was thinking. First, I thought of like Freddie Flintoff post Ash 2005.
Yeah.
So those stories are just crazy on a night out. But I think he's sober now, so I'm not sure how much fun he'd be anymore. But he'd probably be a laugh.
Freddie, if you're listening, Chris does
probably
not want to go on a night out with you
He'd
anymore.
probably still be a laugh. Actually, and Peter Crouch. I was just listening to the
Peter Crouch would be a good one.
podcast on the way in, where they were doing the Shysters Award. And I think he'd be good fun.
Yeah.
We've been on a night out with him,
Peter Crouch?
didn't we?
Hang on.
Have you?
Have I just completely missed a bit of my memory that I feel
I'm
like...
sure you were there.
Or did you just meet a really, really tall bloke?
No, we
and
were
you just called him Peter Crouch?
we were at some place in Chelsea on the corner. I can't remember what it was called, but it was downstairs, and he was in there, and he got on the mic. So the DJ's obviously in there. Peter Crouch goes and takes the mic and started beatboxing. It was sick.
What,
and Abby was
is
there
that
as
the
well.
nightclub underneath?
Yeah, I can't remember. It's
Under
on
the
a
bridge?
corner. No, it's on a corner by like I don't know. It's just a random road. I can't remember what it was called. I was going to say
Dogging Road.
Dog style, but it's not.
So you went dogging with Peter Crouch? Is that what you're saying?
That's another podcast.
Or may not have gone dogging with him.
That's one for another podcast.
He's definitely a good night out.
Yeah, he'd be big night out. Yeah, but guys, you haven't said where would you go with him?
Ooh. Oh well, I mean, after us listening to their pot, it'd be the Samrat for a curry, and then then somewhere in West London, I imagine. Trying to think.
A little snazzy little bar in West London.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to make a destination just to see how the night goes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think those
are
always the best nights. Where you don't know, we haven't planned it, and you
more
just seem to
beers go down,
you just seem to drink your way
Well,
somewhere.
I'm definitely planning mine.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm definitely.
That's not like you.
Do you know what I'm taking on a night out?
Who are you taking?
And I'm chartering a private jet straight from the airport.
Oh, I didn't know you could have tools.
Well, this is the night out, mate. Like, you know, I'm picking Jimmy Bullard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
And Ian Holloway.
I mean, they won't be able to afford a private jet.
And guess where we're going?
Somewhere in Blackpool.
Ibiza. Me, Jimmy Bullard and Ian Holloway in Ibiza. That would be an absolute tear up.
The football Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it's amazing. Imagine how out of hand that would get.
That's probably a good night. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I can imagine
I didn't
like
realise we could have tools, but can I come?
no.
I'll bring Miley Cyrus and her dad.
Don't want to.
Me, Crouchy, and Freddie Flintoff.
Oh,
Will
mate,
see there.
Can we all go together?
No.
We'll pay.
Can you imagine how intense Ian Holloway would be after a few beers?
Yeah, fucking great.
Like tearing up DC-10. Yeah, my way. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, that was quite an enjoyable question. Thanks, Lloyd. And then, nicely, on to our final topic of the week, which is in the football arena as well. Because I don't know if you guys have heard, there's a big football tournament happening next week. Haven't really heard the hype about it, but
Is this
Euros
Brentford again?
No. There is a few Brentford players going, but European Championship starts next week. England's first game is against Croatia. Gareth Southgate has taken 19 right-backs to the tournament. I don't really know what we can talk about this. I think it's more just to see what your predictions are for the tournament for England, for the winners. Are you feeling the hype? I'm not really feeling the hype.
Obviously.
We're not going to win.
We are going to win.
You know what? I think we're going to get to the semis.
Yeah, but Chris, the
Chris
problem
is predicting a massive semi-exit.
the problem is, Chris, is that this time we're not playing against Panama and who else we have played against?
Yeah, we've got Scotland instead.
Yeah, can't wait. That'd be a good game. England, Scotland.
Panama.
Where's that being played?
Wembley.
Is it?
Yeah.
So are all our games at Wembley?
I think. Well, it's
Croatia's
England, Croatia at Wembley. Then this one against Scotland, Wembley. I don't know who's in the. This is how bad it is. I don't even know who's in our group.
No.
Is it Sweden? Sweden, the other team?
Google it.
Give it a Google.
Go on, guys. You keep talking.
Hashtag ad.
Also, if we fielded a whole team of right backs, I genuinely think we'd win.
Yeah, because Trent Alexander-Arnold could be easily a right midfield, no problem.
Centre mid. You play him as striker.
Either or, yeah.
Czech Republic.
Oh yeah, that
It's
big team.
it's quite a tough group. That. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about Scotland too much.
You wait now. We'll get smashed by the England reserves.
The Thomas Souček 11 Czech Republic.
Yeah.
But no, to be honest, I've not really felt the hype this year. Usually bang on it, but I'm sure it will be when this first game pitch.
Yeah, it is a shame. I've not followed it at all. Yeah. It's the same as the Olympics. I don't think anyone's paid too much.
Are the Olympics going ahead
There's
still?
been some other big stuff going on this year, so I think that's probably
Brentford promotion. I've been occupied.
Liverpool coming in.
I think even with the World Cup in Russia 2018, I don't think I remember thinking about it at parents like I'm not confident. Then we won the first game
against Panama,
and all of a sudden it erupted.
No, was it Panama?
I don't know. I remember we were losing against somebody. Oh, it was like 0-0 or something.
Yeah, I want to say it was like an Algeria.
And then Harry Kane scored. Was it Tunisia or something? Maybe Tunisia.
Oh yeah,
Tunisia. He scored a penalty, and I remember
he bundled in a header. Right at the end, and I think we just need a win. First game, win the first game, and I think we'll start getting on a roll.
That's just good tournament tactics, isn't it?
Yeah, winning.
Get off to a good start.
That first game, I'm up for a loss.
Yeah. Got to put us down for a W on the third game.
Well, where are we watching it, lads? That's the big question.
Wembley.
Which one?
The first game.
It's on a Sunday night. That's the thing.
Oh, what a joke! Rubbish.
Yeah. England and Scotland, we've got a few tables booked in a place.
Nice.
We're going to. Hopefully there's no Scottish fans in there. But first game, Sunday night. Yeah, it's no point, is it? It's against Croatia as well. It's a difficult game. We don't play well against them.
No.
Lost against them in the World Cup as well, didn't we? So
yeah. I haven't seen any of the team, but is Ivan Toney English? Is he English?
English, yes.
Yeah, okay. Just
he's English. He actually got... He at Jamaica... started doing this thing a few months ago when they were calling up like players that potentially you didn't have any hope of getting into the England team.
Yeah.
And they've actually now got quite a good team. They've got a lot of championship players in there. Ravel Morrison, the ex-Man United wonder kid,
has he never played for England?
No, he never played for England, mate.
I mean, he barely played for any of the teams he
he had that amazing season at West Ham and that goal against Spurs. Yeah, that's unbelievable.
And that goal in the training.
Oh, yeah.
The training goal.
He scored 2 goals in his life.
Yeah, so they've got a few players that called up. Actually, Brentford's centre-back, Ethan Pinnock, is in the Reggae Boys. Called Reggae Boys? That's what they call them, isn't it? This is actually quite funny. Another story about Jamaica's football team. I think it was like years ago when they tried to do the same thing. They had a few England players going over that were like lower league. They got the English players got nicknamed as UB40. That was quite a good one. But Ivan Toney, no, he's not in the Jamaica team. He has hopes of playing for England, which I reckon he'll get in.
Why wouldn't they? Who else are we taking as strikers? We've got 19 right backs, but who?
Harry Kane's the main striker, right? And then we've got Rashford, and then Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, worth it, definitely.
Yeah,
Sterling as well.
He's not really a striker,
but they're wingers, aren't they? So I would say take Tony. Why wouldn't they? Gareth, come on. Yeah,
he's proven there he is. That's the problem. Anyway, predictions, guys, for the Euros. Where do you think we're going to come? You said semis.
I'll stick with semis. Yeah.
Long hard semi.
Long hard semi.
What are you going for?
After a long hard semi, I'll finish at a win in the final. Easy.
I reckon we're not going to get out of the group.
Probably not, to be fair.
I reckon we'll get
2 draws and a win.
We'll lose against Croatia, and then we'll lose against Scotland, and then we'll lose against Czech Republic. But then what really is going to happen is, in the back of my mind, is we're going to win it.
Yeah.
But the problem is we've got such good players. England always seems to have good players, but we just can't play together.
No, I mean, if one of those things, I don't think. Well, actually, it might be this year where 3 out of 4 teams in the European finals, like the Europa League and the Champions League,
aren't even European.
Are all English, but don't have any English players.
It's like the New Zealanders.
It was like 9 or 10 English players were there.
Yeah.
So get used to that tournament experience. Get used to being in semis and finals.
What do you think about the Euro conference thing? It's like for the sixth place team in England, is it?
Luckily, Liverpool don't have to worry about that, so that's fine.
It's like, so you've got the Champions League, you've got the Europa Cup, and now there's another tournament which is called the Europa Conference. It just sounds bad, doesn't it?
It just sounds like it's been made for Spurs.
It sounds like you're going to like the darkest depths of Latvia on a Thursday night to play against Riga.
Yeah.
It's not a fun time.
You might not know this, but me and James had an idea once called the Minnows World Cup.
Yeah.
Don't tell them.
Well, TM. We didn't do it.
We should have done it.
Whatever, financial constraints, we didn't have billions. But then it came out that someone else did it, and it's obviously quite successful. But here's an even better idea.
Actually, let's tell Chris, the Minnows World Cup was the World Cup for countries that have no hope of ever getting there.
Yeah.
So you've got like tiny little islands like the Seychelles.
Yeah. Faroe
India.
Islands.
Exactly, India. Yeah. Massive country, should be in the World Cup, but aren't good at football.
Other ones, Singapore.
Yeah. So we had this idea, and we thought it was an absolutely insane idea, and for some reason we never did it. Yeah. And then maybe last year, I saw that Spencer FC was doing something with, I can't remember what it's called, but he did a sponsored video with the Minnows World Cup equivalent of what we were going to do.
But they didn't call it the Minnows World Cup as well, and that's where they missed out.
But they were doing it with like really obscure countries, even smaller than what we were thinking. So there's still hope for us. Yeah. We should do that idea. I think it's good.
But it might have just evolved. What if you did like a European Championship with the bottom half of the league? So you had to be in the very last place and upwards. So you had to fight to get into the lower leagues, the lower parts. And then you got
an opposite relegation.
What's amazing is when you see these countries that have no hope of getting there, and then they have a random player that's playing like the Premier League in their team. They've somehow qualified to qualified to play this thing. It's quite an interesting story. When I was at school, I think it was Bermuda qualified for the Cricket World Cup. Qualified, and it was like 2000. I don't know, 6 or 7. And there was a guy near above me. I forget his name, but he somehow qualified to play for Bermuda. He somehow qualified to play for Bermuda, and he went to the 2020 World Cup and play
That's
for
how you want to
Bermuda.
do it, isn't it? If you're on the fringes, you just want to get in some way somehow. That's how
But it was so funny because he's like classic English guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how he qualified. I don't know whether his dad stayed there for a period of time or he was born there, but it was insane. It was like hilarious to see him in the World Cup.
They had Bermuda. All I remember from that tournament is
the big fat guy.
Dwayne Leverock.
Yeah.
That catch
In the slips, yeah.
Still watch it on replay. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Let the salmon.
So that's our predictions for England. What do you think about who's going to win it? It's always a safe bet for me. Germany, they're always going to be there.
Yeah.
I was going to say France, to be fair. I think France got a very, very strong team. And they've recalled Benzema after about 5 years in darkness. So, him and Mbappe up front is going to be
just too quick Mbappe, isn't he? I remember like seeing some of the clips and just it's ridiculous. It's like you've got FIFA 99 speed. Luke, what do you think?
England.
Yeah.
Why would you bet against England?
Because we've never won it before, and we have a historical nous of bottling every single tournament we ever go into.
Yeah, but we've got Southgate.
Yeah, a bottler who missed the penalty in Euro 96
but
for us to get through to the
he's
final.
emerged from his chrysalis and he's come out a new man.
If we double waistcoats, we might have it.
Yeah, double.
Yeah, so Germany for me, Luke, you're going England, you're going France, Chris.
Yeah.
Interesting discussion about Euros. Anyway, guys, I think that is us wrapping up for this week, unless you've got anything else to add.
I was going to ask, actually, have you guys seen the TikTok ad for the Euros?
No.
So obviously they're official partners for the Euros, and they've released like I think it's a TV ad like I saw on LinkedIn this week, and it is not very good. I don't think.
Build up.
I don't think it's all that good. Like they've tried to.
Go on, Chris. Sorry.
They tried to basically like integrate like how people can use the app.
Yeah.
In and around, they like cut together. Shots of the game and stuff.
Chris is getting nervous because my hands keep going.
I don't like watching it. But yeah, I just don't like for the Euros and stuff. I don't think they're targeting the right audience. I don't think it's like come across cool. Like the content's great. Don't get me wrong.
So what you want to say to them is this.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
That's what he wants to say. And do you know what? On that bombshell, I'm going to end the podcast. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me again. Look forward to next week. Every Wednesday, we're filming. Released on Thursdays. So put it in your diaries, listeners, because we're coming in your ears. See you next week. Bye.